Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are on version 1.20.20.20. I know that's a lot of .20s, but it's actually a pretty jam-packed beta. I know right now it looks completely empty, but this is not the actual world with all the changes. This is just to cover one because it isn't working in the world. It is the recipe unlocking. And as you can see, I have no recipes unlocked. If I do /recipe give, we'll do at s. We can do, how about a diamond axe? Let's do a diamond axe. First of all, it pops up on the side of my screen, and I now have the ability to craft a diamond axe. Now, what I can also do is I can do take diamond axe, and now it removes it from the crafting recipe. I can give it back. It's pretty much a way that you can remove and give anybody the crafting recipes that you want or need or feel they should have access to, I guess. Of course, if you're playing normal full survival, this probably isn't going to be affecting you because why would you be using commands anyway? Also, there's a brand new sound, so when the thing pops up on screen giving you the, unlocked recipe, it now plays a whooshing sound, which is the exact same sound that it plays in Java. Now, say you want to unlock all of the recipes, /recipe give at s, and then for me on computer, I just hit tab. It is the quotation marks, double quotation, and then there's this little X, and I'm not sure how you get that little X, but it is a thing, and when you put that in, it gives you every single recipe there is. So it's going to be the way it would have been prior before this recipe unlocking, or if you're just in a full world or you have all of them unlocked already. So that is how that works. And then, of course, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and take every single recipe away, leaving you with, again, just the crafting table. So that is all this new recipe unlocking and taking stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into the actual world of changes because there's a lot more than just that. Here we are, we're back into the proper full world. We've already covered recipe changing, it wasn't working in here. However, I'm now realizing that I didn't mess up. I could have just done /take all the recipes and showed it in this world, but I didn't think of that. Anyways, next up is crawling. We are now able to crawl under half slabs with the top snow below. Previously, we wouldn't fit. We were too fat and we just didn't fit in this space, but we now do. And then pretty much what this means now, and as it is listed in the changelog, each individual snow level now has its own hitbox, and you can walk on each individual level. As you can see, it's like a slow sloping staircase. Previously, unless it was like the full block or the half slab variant, you just walked straight through it, still on ground level, which really didn't make much of a use of it. Next up, anvils. They have changed a bunch of the sounds. Breaking should now have a brand new sound. Sounds like a stone block to me. Walking on it also sounds like a stone block. And then, of course, falling onto it, which I'm not really hearing any differences or anything super special with that. Now, skeletons, when they shoot their bow, and drowns when they throw a trident, will now properly play the sound of the pop of the bow and the other whatever sound the trident makes when you throw it. So let's go ahead and get shot at. We're just going to do one of these at a time, so let's just go ahead and do that to the drown. And as you can see, you can hear the popping of the bow and arrow coming from the skeleton. Now let's see if we can hear the... Ow, you can still shoot me, dude? That should do me good. Now let's see if we can hear the sound of the trident. Are you for real? Also, yeah, there's that new death screen still. Not really sure that I'm a fan of it. I really hope that doesn't get put into the full actual game. He took my elytra. I needed that for a later change to show you guys, but okay. I'll just have to get another one. So I can confirm it does play the right sound now, as you all heard it. I do not know why he was not throwing it in the first place, but he is now. This elytra is not needed right now. This is going to be needed for a later change, so I'm just going to hide that. In here, I got a bow. I need some arrows. Just grab a stack of arrows. So pretty much when we're in survival mode, this guy has full thorns, netherite armor, and there is now going to be a new sound for when the player takes damage due to thorns. Oh, I did hear it. You have to get close to the thing wearing the thorns, whether it's a mob or a player, though. Alright, see there we didn't hear it because we died, but we can hear it. I'm going to prove it to you once again. I faintly heard it the first time. Remember, it's only when the player takes damage due to the thorns, not when you hit the thing wearing it. Yeah, there, you can hear a little, like, doink. Yeah, it's not very loud, it's kind of faint, really, but it's there, and it's a really nice touch. Next up, when a channeling trident is thrown, and it hits an entity, of course in a thunderstorm, which we're going to go ahead and get going right now, it is now playing the proper sound. Previously, it was not playing the proper sound, but now it's going to be making the right sounds. Let's take a listen. As you can hear, it is making quite some interesting sounds. Alright, next up, maps will now play the proper sound when you break them. I don't know if you heard it that time, so I'll grab another one, but there is a little scribble sound. It was a bit louder that time. There's a few different variations of it, but it does make a scribble sound as if you are scribbling on paper when you open the map. When breaking the nether portal frame, it will now play the proper sound of breaking glass when the portal is destroyed. Previously, that was only if you hit the portal like that, but it should also play when destroying the frame. Next up, Loyalty 3 Tridents now play the proper sound when coming back to the player. Big Drip Leafs now play the proper sound when returning. There you go. And Conduits will now play the proper sound when deactivating. And the respawn anchors will now play the proper ambient noises. Previously, they weren't playing any at all. On to our next change, boats in the water will now break any falling blocks that land on top of it. Of course, this also applies to the concrete powders. I just really didn't want to have to get every single color of concrete powder because that would have been a long and irritating process. Wandering traders can now sell you the cherry blossom saplings. It took me 2 tries to get one that sold them. I don't know if this is rare or if I just got lucky, but I'm sure you all will end up finding out soon enough. The particles that come off of the cherry leaves, what are these called? Yeah, just cherry leaves. They have always been, you had to be like about 5 blocks away from the leaves to get the particles. Now, depending on your device's performance capabilities, they will render the particles from farther distances. However, the farther you get, the less particles there will be, but the closer you are, of course, it's going to be a lot more abundant, and it's going to look more like this. Meanwhile, all the way over here, I should be able to see some particles, but they're not going to be very frequent. Okay, maybe not from all the way back there, but more about here. So I don't know, 20 to 30 blocks away. Of course, like I said, it is fully dependent on your device's capability, so you'll have to see what your device can handle. The next 2 changes have to do with the villagers. So there is a thing where the zombie villagers, what they were wearing, what profession they were, wasn't actually relating to once you cured them. So we're going to go ahead and cure this villager, and he should be the proper profession. I'm not totally sure what his profession is supposed to be, so we're actually going to do this. Oh, no we're not. No we're not. We're definitely not. I want to see if he had a farmer's hat. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to be. But we'll find out soon enough, I guess. And then villagers, when they were holding an item, if you killed them, they would drop that item. So we're going to wait for him to put up his item once again. And we kill him, and there are no iron boots laying on the ground. That is a very good sign. While we wait for this zombie villager to cure, we can go ahead and use the elytra. When gliding with the elytra in creative mode and then switching to the creative mode flying, the rendering was all wrong and inaccurate. But now it just switches seamlessly. I do not see very many issues with this at all. I'm not sure what was wrong with it, but it is a very clean and nice transition, as you can see. And now, while we wait for him to finish on up, I'm going to go ahead and put up a bunch of gameplay changes on your screen. These aren't really things that I show too much. There's just a list, about a dozen, I think. What is it, like 10? I think it's about 10 to a dozen. Anyway, these are just like quality of life changes, things that make your game run smoother, look and work better, such as third-person camera. Sorry, I don't know what a camera is. The third-person camera will no longer clip through terrain when near water or lava. The player now gets forced out of sneak/crawl when riding. Players should no longer accidentally trigger crawling when they shouldn't. Things like that. Entering flight mode in creative will now correctly cancel elytra gliding. Pick blocking a decorated block will now produce the correct hover hint in the inventory. Just all kinds of things like that that are supposed to fix and help your game. Also, our villager friend has cured. Apparently, that is what a plain zombie villager looked like. But let's go ahead and grab another one, because I would like to see one that I know what the profession is. That way I can confirm that once it's cured, I know it is proper. That, for instance, I know is properly a librarian. So now we're going to wait for that one to cure, and we will see whether I am right or not, but that should end up being a librarian villager. One session of non-stop shaking and plenty of stinky particles later, the librarian zombie villager has been cured into a proper librarian villager. So I can confirm that is right, and it works all good there. Take off the stinky elytra right now. The librarian villager has been cured properly. We now know that works. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've gotten all the information that you needed and or wanted on this week's beta. Of course, the changelog is linked down in the description below in case you want to read up on it for yourself and get any more little details and bits of information. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I always appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!